What's really good, guys? So a lot of you have probably seen this clip from one of Tightrope's casts between Makoto playing Ware and Momofosho playing USF. Momo tries to dive in with an M8 to finish off a Stug with engine damage, but unfortunately for him, the Stug's newly buffed rotation rate, plus the rotation bonus it gets from Vet 2, means that despite coming in from the rear, the Stug is able to super quickly bring its front armor to face the M8, causing the next shot to bounce, and Momo loses the M8 while the Stug gets to live. While we already knew that self-propelled guns were pretty much already unflankable without at least two vehicles, and that circle strafing is dead in CoH3, what stood out to me about this was how engine damage seemed to have zero effect on the Stug's rotation speed, something you intuitively think it would, just like in previous games. This clip, as well as Stug rotation, has been a bit of a hot topic, and I totally overlooked engine damage in my own video exploring assault gun movement. So it made me want to do that now with a comparison between CoH3 and CoH2. I ran my tests, and here's what I got. As I showed in my last video on assault guns, even at Vet 0, Stugs and Martyrs are basically already uncirclable without some kind of speed buff. Now, in 1.1.4, they're even faster. So even this Chaffee with its Vet 1 flanking speed ability, funnily enough, still can't flank around to the Stug's rear. This is how that engagement plays out with a Vet 0 Stug, with engine damage, plus the Chaffee is going to be using its flanking speed ability. As you can see, nothing changes. The Stug is still able to pirouette spin just fine with a damaged engine, and kills the Chaffee. I threw in a quick side-by-side comparison to show that the Stugs pretty much are rotating at the same speed, regardless of the state of their engines. Jumping over to CoH2, there's not much that needs to be said. We already know you can circle strafe a casemate vehicle to death with pretty much any turreted vehicle. But now, take a look at how this engagement plays out when the Stug has a damaged engine. The Stug is rotating noticeably slower, so slowly in fact that I actually have to give my T-70 less move commands to prevent it from circling back to the Stug's front. And here's a side-by-side with the CoH2 Stugs. Look at how much faster the undamaged Stug rotates to face the T-70. It's immediately apparent that the damaged engine status has an impact on its rotation rate. The explanation I arrived at is that CoH3, whether intentional or not, doesn't consider rotation to be movement, and therefore doesn't apply a damaged engine's movement debuff to rotation speed. This would also explain why assault guns no longer have an accuracy penalty when rotating in place, as I showed in a previous video. To illustrate this, I made some DAC vehicles and gave them their emergency repair kits. As you can see, they are still passively healing when rotating in place, meaning that the game still considers them stationary and thus the ability activates. Personally, I hope this is an oversight that gets changed. It's one thing to have unflankable casemates because you think circle strafing is dumb. It's another thing when you still can't exploit one of the core weaknesses of the assault gun design, even after destroying its engine. Anyways, with that said, thanks as always guys for your attention, and I'll see you when I find another topic to do a deep dive into. Take care.